Okie dokie. Week 5. Oh my gosh. It's it's crazy to think it's been 5 weeks of doing this, but at the same time, week 5, like last week we spoke about peaks and plateaus and understanding that there will be times where it gets really, really hard and really, really tough. I'm not sure if you guys follow my parade of continuous Facebook lives in the normal open Facebook world.
Yeah, we do.
Sometimes.
It's been funny that it's legitimately all these kind of topics is what's coming up for me anyway. Like everything I post about on social media is somehow a lesson, a learning, a thought, a conversation I've had with someone or things like that. So it seems like this is the stuck phase where it's like the things get hard and then there's that full on like, how do I push past that? Like just to give you guys a bit of a background story of that. Like today we've got the next round of this setting everything up and getting the promotions ready to run. And I've actually hired someone who's costing a fair bit to do it. You'll see that one too, Jody.
Yeah.
And but he's a genius and he's really good at getting it in flow. And today he goes, you're going to have to run a webinar and get that recorded. And I was like, crap. And he sends me through all these documents and he sends me through this video and he goes, you need to watch this. This guy is like, people earn millions when they do his structure. And I was like, well, that's cool, but how long is the video? How much stuff do I have to look at? Yeah, just an hour. And then I sort of sat there for a second and I was like, I did not want to do it. I was like, fuck, this is like, I don't have time. And all that started snowballing. I don't have time. I'm not good at this. I don't think I can do this. This is all too hard. I just want it to be simple. Why does it have to be another thing, another thing, another thing?
And it's really hard for so long.
Yeah, exactly. And I really sort of caught myself and went, hold up. Like if you're feeling like this, then clearly this is an area of growth. Clearly this is like the thing that's going to take you to the next level. And you can choose to stay still and stay stuck and be like, well, it is too hard and I'm not going to do this. Let me find a way that's not so hard. Or I can recognize that I'm struggling through it and this is where I need to lean in and push into the resistance and push past where I am now. And so as Shana does, I leaned into it and driving home, listening to the recording, I was like, of course this is genius. And of course this man earns millions. Sounds like a bit of a wanker, but he still earns millions. And I totally just got that moment of like, again, it seems like the last couple of weeks, every time something gets hard and I push into it, I get into the other side. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, right. Of course I had to go through that. Now I see where that's taking me. Now I see where that's getting easier. Now I see where my flow is. So does that kind of resonate with sort of week 5 where things get hard and you're like, oh, I don't want to do the food prep and I don't want to go do that shopping or I don't want to sit there and do my fitness or anything like that. Why? Do you get a little bit of that? Is this week and last week kind of where that some things are coming in? Or are you guys feeling like you're staying on target pretty well?
My fitness has probably been down a bit because I've ramped work back up, but still been eating really well, which helps having hubby at home because I've done a food plan for the week. So I've said this is what we're going to have. And then I get onto the app and I take photos of it and text it to Marcus going, this is what we're having for dinner.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I love how that has created so much flow and structure for you.
Yeah.
Variety with structure.
Oh, yeah. We love the different foods. Love having the different foods. It's awesome.
Perfect.
And my children love lentils.
Who knew? And you wouldn't have even thought to try it.
Even I bought a tin of lentils and drained them off and put them in an omelette and the kids loved it.
Oh, yum. We did a big cook-up on Saturday night and we did chicken and beef and crumbed eggplants and things like that and did this awesome burgers. And with the leftovers, I had a big lentil dal that I'd made up, like a mixed vegetables, lentils, heaps of stuff. And I portioned it up and I took the containers and I was like, beef in this one, chicken in that one, eggplant in that one. And so throughout the week, I've got this massive combination of different foods and different things, but with the lentils, because I know for myself, lentils are like top priority for me for any kind of substance or protein. And so it was really interesting to be able to, like, this morning for breakfast, I had lentils and steak. Last night was a massive.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it was totally good. Like, it was a thin piece of steak, but I chopped it up and stuck it through the lentil, and it was just really. I don't overheat things, so I just brought it to room temperature and ate it because I'm like.
Yeah, I had blackberry pudding, so it was almond milk with chia seeds and mashed up blackberries with some pistachios on top. Oh, really yummy. Yeah, it was really good.
That is awesome. I don't think chia seeds are very high for me at the moment, but you can make the same thing with flax seeds. You can make the same thing with oats, with quinoa, with goodness, you can make it with sunflower seeds and things. You can get a mixture of the seeds that are in the top of your list and make the same thing.
Yep. Yeah.
So I was just thinking as you were saying that, I was like, oh, cherry, like it's a cool idea. You can see what green seeds and things like that you could use as a substitute for that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it was great because it took like 5 minutes to prepare at night, and I just put it in a dish, put the lid on it, chucked it in the fridge, and it made enough that I had it for breakfast for 3 days. Not 3 days in a row, but it made heaps. So this morning I finished it off.
Perfect. Yeah, I love that. It's great when you can have it with ease. Like some of you will be able to have things like quinoa. By the way, hot tip on quinoa, you can totally cook it the same way you cook rice in a rice cooker. Instead of all this wanking around trying to make it the perfect way and cook it until it pops and blah, 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 you can just throw it in, rinse it, throw it in, cover it in water. And often I'll do like the savory version where you do like throw a bay leaf in there and maybe a bit of cinnamon or some allspice or something like that to give it a slightly savory startup point. But you can legitimately keep that and have it like a day or two later and reheat it in the rice cooker with coconut cream, almond milk, or things like that, and make a porridge and throw some cranberries in there and or whatever berries or goji berries on top of it. And then some pepitas and some sunflower seeds and that sort of thing. So you can see how you can go like savory at lunch one day and then reheat it for breakfast another day. You'll still get the bay leaf ever so slightly, but you can add the other things where you're like, can't really tell it. It really doesn't bother me that much. That one's a cool hot tip, just to bring some food back into it. So our priorities for this week. How are you feeling? Have you looked at your PDFs and your priorities for the week 5?
Yeah.
I can see yours, Jodie.
Yes, I'll put mine up.
Yes. Well, shall we start with going through that? I believe I'm Judge Cody. Yes. Yeah. You are like, because you're so close to a connector, connectors are really like quite empathic, like a puppy dog. So you would naturally have this, and I've seen you do it, you watch what we're doing and where someone's moving and you're like, oh yeah, right, okay, and I'm fucking backing away from you. Or you're like, hey, you're cool, we can be friends.
Yep.
So naturally, like, it's cool to watch your eyes dart around when you meet someone or you watch someone intently. And you said you've done a course, which is really awesome.
Yeah. My old boss was very, very into body language and stuff and learning, like it was around how to talk to a client, because a lot of us accountants get bogged down in acronyms and stuff, and then people looking at it like going, what are you talking about? So we were doing a course in how to actually put it in layman's terms so people can understand.
Yeah. 100%. And it's so important. Like, those sort of courses are life-changing. Absolutely. You're so lucky to have that. It's funny, you said you generally can tend to make a first impression off of that first meeting someone.
Yep.
The activator side in you, or the puppy dog side in you, it may take a bit more time for people to warm to you, which is a protection mechanism and totally fine and totally safe. But I do know a lot of connectors and activators who have then gone and realised later on that they've actually shut people down and not given them the opportunity to come back.
Yeah, guilty of that.
Yes, that would be the part where I'd be like, maybe we could be a little bit more feminine in that space and give people a second chance.
Probably. Don't hold those grudges.
Plus which, there's more energy you can spend somewhere else.
Yeah, definitely.
which I love, I absolutely love. I'll quickly cover, what do we have here? I'll quickly cover, is there anything else you want to say about that before we move on? Anything you've noticed throughout the week, paying a bit more attention to that side of things?
I'm a bit of a people pleaser.
That's the connector part of you coming out for sure.
Yes, hence why I only recently got home. Yeah, sure, I can have that 6 o'clock appointment.
Goodness me.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, the people pleaser part of you, you'll have to keep checking on it because the activator part of you would be like, that's eating at my time. No.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
But you totally get to like now witness those parts of you and go, oh, and because your fitness, like I get we've got a people please and whatnot. So, and I know you're running your own business, but whether or not there are opportunities where you can go, do I actually really need to do that right now? Or is there another day I could do it so that I can get home and I can make sure that I'm looking after myself and I'm getting enough fitness and movement and things like that?
Yeah. I've got to learn to say no.
Yes.
Can't do it then, but I can do it now. Over here.
Knows. Yeah. 100%. I want to quickly jump into Mandy's post about social for diplomats, which is super interesting. Her ability to shift and change. It's hilarious because she and I have the same statement there, which you all know if you know me, if you watch any parts of my stuff. It's like I have been through so many things and aspects and trying to find what really lights me up. And we do shift and change quite easily, which means Mandy has a huge strand, and I've looked in her back end of her profile, a huge strand of activator in her, which is really, really awesome. And I'll drop it right here in the training and make sure that I keep myself accountable to getting this done while I remember it before I move on. Can I get everybody who watches the recording, now I'll get to know who's actually watching the recordings, can I get everybody to send me through your address? Because you guys get a cookbook sent to you for yourself and or for gifts. That was part of the original whole program. And I was driving on today and I was like, I haven't sent out the cookbooks yet. Holy crap. So if everyone could pretty please just text me through your address so I can post those out this week, that would be amazing. And also, between now and the end of the program, and a week or two after, I'm giving each of you the opportunity to book in with me. I haven't set up the Calendly link yet, but I will, for an hour session with me, one-on-one each. Okay, so that's where you're going to be able to sit down with me and I'll log into the back-end coaching panel and you will have your side and I'll spend a bit of time and we'll really go through the nuts and bolts of it and get really tight and into the nitty-gritties and make sure there's nothing there that we haven't yet uncovered that's totally relevant to you now, set you up with some structures, some strategies, some fun things for the connectors, some challenges for the activators, and more of the linear stuff for our more ecto brains that just want to know what I've got to do, when, why, how, and how can I be the most effective with it, because we know that our Crusaders like that. So yeah, those are my two surprises for today. I will get the Calendly link up. I'm going to write that down in the next day or so. And then you guys can all start to book in between now and whenever. We'll probably go a couple of weeks after the event. Just be able to just give you guys that extra support and really make sure you guys are going to be like in the best position to keep this momentum going. But next week I'll also talk about the final aspects of where this looks like in the future for you guys as well, which is awesome. So back to my thoughts with Mandy. So she was saying that she's definitely loving the more quiet mornings and quite resents the intrusions into her quiet. So she's actually discovered she still likes to wake up at 6 a.m., but then that enables her to have quiet and peace until 7, which means she feels she's in more relaxed state and flow and more capable of dealing with the day rather than being bombarded. Totally cool, totally relevant. Like our diplomats, if you're up early, that's fine. Just make sure you are going through that slow pace, especially our guardians too, going through the breathing, nurturing everything in your own pace. The longer that you're able to prolong that in your morning, the better you will be. And definitely always sit there and plan the night before and try and support yourself as much as you possibly can leading into that next day so that there's less to be done. She didn't line up with the part, which is that, she would rather stir up a debate rather than have a boring conversation. And she was saying that she actually hates confrontation. The last thing she would do. All the other points totally resonate with her, but that one doesn't. And that's really fun to play with that, because when you look at bringing up a debate might not necessarily mean what you think it might mean initially. What that can mean is, like, if you think that you're right and you think that what you're saying is correct, you will argue the point, or you will find a way of going, yeah, I get that you're saying that, but to be honest, like, did you think of this? Did you think of that? And you'll be a little bit more, you'll stick with your guns 9 times out of 10. And if you're not sticking with your guns, if you are not standing for what you think and feel, go to the woo-woo, energetically you're blocking your throat chakra. Energetically, you're cock-blocking yourself. Energetically, you're not upholding your ability to be a dictator, to be like, diplomats are meant to stand strong and sturdy and have the ability to keep holding and going and going and going. When someone challenges you, it's like getting to the Queen's Guard. They have to stand there and take it and take it and take it. That's a diplomat. But when their belief and their passion is on point, and when you are living a life where you are balanced and in flow and in integrity, you will hold your conversation. You will not allow others to push away from you. So I would urge that there's some work to be done in that zone of standing your ground, of staying within your belief. And I'm not saying that you're being like a pushover or anything. I would say that that's more leaning towards a factor of maybe you actually need to do a little bit more belief work on understanding that when you know what you know, you have every God-given right to stand your ground and speak a good conversation and speak your truth. And leaning away from confrontation doesn't mean, a debate doesn't mean confrontation. God, Brad's kids quite often will be like, oh my God. But he and I are just having a conversation where both of us love debating. Like, we will both sit there and be like, boom, but I think that. Boom, but I think that. I don't care that you think that. I think this. And like, we will just go and go and go and go and go. And some might see that as confrontational. But the both of us at the end of it are like, God, I love that I can have a good debate with you. Like, you don't back down. Like, I know that we can have a conversation. I can express myself. And when we're in that zone of debate, we don't let our ego get in the way. We don't let our wounded sides of us get in the way, because we understand that we're just like, and this is my passion, this is my perspective, this is my conversation, and blah, 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 blah. And it's really awesome. It's so empowering to have those conversations with people. So diplomats that are feeling like the debate is a confrontation, I'd urge you to look into that and go, is it really a confrontation, or is it just a passionate conversation? Same thing. And it also means that you don't like listening and talking to shitty conversations. Like, I can't deal, like, I don't have I do actually. I have certain friends that I can only have in small portions, because the small conversation drives me crazy. Yeah. So they're the friends that I'm like, love you, but I'll just see you once every couple of months for an hour or two. And that's my quota. So that's my way of managing the fact that I do still have beautiful friends that are connectors and activators that I have to ego bolster, and I have to listen to small conversation. And they're the friends that I've realized that I still love them, but I don't need to be in their life too much. And I could choose to react and have the confrontation, the hard conversations, or I recognize that that's just them. And this is where this group scenario that we're doing here, where you guys are understanding each other a lot more and understanding the different health types a lot more, you're actually getting the perspective of going, it's just a little connector. You don't really need to interact with them like that. As much as I want to debate and push them on this subject, I'm going to reserve my energy, because diplomats do need to reserve their energy. I want to reserve my energy, and I'm just going to be la 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 and take my smart scientific brain, put it on the front door, go in and interact with my little friend, and then go home and read a freaking smart book. Like, it's just, you get to choose how you show up. So yeah, I hope that's helped explain that. I hope everybody else that's listening, that's kind of explained some of those interactions you have with people. And just that perspective on it. Like, yeah, it doesn't need to be all the hard stuff. Cool. Awesome. Kerry, where are you at this week? You are feeling, what is your priority this week?
Mind.
Ooh.
Which is, I don't know whether it's all the drama that's going on in my life that's doing my head in, but that's a good, yeah. Yeah.
The universe is really freaking amazing for you at the moment. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Things keep coming up. Every time it's a certain section, things are coming up that are like, so are you really ready to shed that old belief? Are you really ready to move forward and honor yourself? Are you really going to honor yourself this time? Let's try this. Boom. And then it's like, Are you really going to? Boom. And then it's like, really? And you're like, oh my God, really? Universe, I'm so ready for it.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's sort of like it got to the point where, wow, how do I put it? I fucked up big time. And that's the first time, you don't hear me swear much, but I accidentally told my niece something that we had in conversation and she didn't know about, which I thought she did. And I'm waiting for the big explosion. So I've just been, emotional wreck. But I've decided to take a step back because basically what I did was her sister, my niece's sister, she's got her staying at her place. Well, we were having a conversation because Paula, my niece, was in a really bad car accident about 20 odd years ago. She's got disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
So she's the one that overdosed that I told you about.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so she's living with her sister, and Kathleen and I were talking on Sunday, I think it was.
Yep.
And I actually blurted it out that Paula had slept with her ex-husband.
Whoops. Days of our lives.
And I went, whoops. And I thought Kathleen knew because the whole family knew, but she didn't know.
Oh.
And I went, uh-oh. So, I feel bad because, I don't. Anyway, so it worked out this perfect mind thing. Do I want to honour me? Yes, I do. So there's a time to honour myself. Yes, take a step back. So, and figure myself out, keep my mouth shut.
So I want to congratulate you on really reflecting on yourself and realizing you need to go back into yourself in this instance. And I secondly beg you to forgive yourself immediately. Yeah. Remove that. I'm assuming the conversation.
It's not your fault that she didn't know.
Yeah.
Family is so convoluted and family secrets suck.
Yeah.
They shouldn't exist.
No.
No.
Exactly that. A family secret is something where if it happened, you're like, well, I'm sorry that I burst the bubble, but you did, or the deed was done not by me. And it just depends. Reflect on the emotions you were feeling when you were having that conversation. Where was your heart coming from when you spoke the words? What was the intention?
Well, I wanted to understand. I wanted her to understand her sister because I know Paula manipulates in a certain way, and because of her disability, she can't do certain things, which I know that she can do, but she plays on it. And Kathleen says to me, "I feel like a carer now instead of her sister, and it's affecting their relationship." So Kathleen's been coming to me. And then I did that. So, yeah, in a way I was trying to make her, and she said, I have an imposter living in my house. you know?
Wow.
So I had, when we were talking, I had good intentions, but not to, and she said, why didn't you tell me this years ago? And I said, well, I didn't know where you were,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And anyway, so it's
So
just
trying to comfort her, or trying to go along with the conversation where it was going. So the thing is with guardians is guardians can be, not a warning, this is an awareness. Guardians can speak at times in social situations, and they get carried away with the conversation, and they want to be involved with the conversation they're having with the person as much as they can and help them feel better, which can look like speaking out of term, or I can't think of another term right now apart from bitching.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know.
Bitching,
You're getting that,
yeah. So, and that it can be very common with a guardian. Your heart will be coming from the place for the person you're speaking with, but you won't always be thinking about the other side of it. But in general, all you're really reaching for is the nurture and the comfort of the person near you. And that's beautiful. Okay.
Yeah.
So you were obviously consoling that person. So I want you to remember that you are a caring, nurturing person.
Yeah.
Always.
I always have been. That's my downfall.
No. It's not a downfall.
Right.
All you have to do is go, sorry that it came from me. I had no malicious intent because I thought that it was already known. And you almost don't really have to explain it, but I want you to understand that these things happen, and now you need to make sure that you look after you first.
Yeah, I keep on telling her that. Because she's not dealing with everything so well, because I told you that my sister had 3 strokes. So she works all day, and then she lives at Browns Plains, so she's running to Redland every day to see her mum. And now her dad's in hospital. It looks like he's had a stroke, and he's in Ipswich. And I mean, she's got Paula to look after, and I said to her, you're going to crash and burn. I can see it.
The other thing, can you hear, and I know everyone watching this will be able to hear, your reflection is not actually upon yourself. You're actually constantly focusing on everyone around you.
Yeah.
Can I ask, how do you feel your weight loss is going right now?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How do you feel about fluid retention? How do you feel like your body is right now?
Great. I actually feel like that postman story the other day. I actually feel, even though I've got all this going on in my head, I actually feel confident. That, you know, my stomach is shrinking. My legs, I can feel it. You know, I go, I can actually feel it coming off me. And it's just, you know, like I'm having that confidence feeling, but I've got all this other stuff going on in my head. But this hasn't affected my eating at all. It hasn't, good. I'm prioritising on that, keeping the fluids, everything. So, yeah.
Yay! So it's definitely, I'd like you are paying attention, so stay on that track. Remember to keep going. That's my community.
Yeah.
And I can be there for them more when I'm for me more. And so as much as there's so much going on around you, you're doing really great at this. And all I'm doing is giving you the reassurance that you're doing the right thing, and make sure that there's always going to be these dramas going on. There's always going to be stuff happening around you. And remember to reflect back into the amazing, strong body that you are, and that sometimes you need to let people crumble and fall, and just be there to pick them up at the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what will happen whether you are involved or not. And remember that you can just stand back and reserve yourself and hold love and gratitude for those people and their situations, and just remind them that you're here to love them all.
Yeah, and I mean, at the moment, because I've been doing a lot of thinking since that. And today I'm a little bit better, but yesterday I was miserable.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was crying and all that sort of stuff. But and then going to bed just staring at the ceiling all night because I'm not, and I thought, nah, I've really got to start looking after me.
What mindset work are you doing?
Pardon?
What mindset work are you doing? Are you journaling? Have you done the journaling activity in this week's challenge?
No.
No.
Because my head's all over the shop.
I was going to say, I don't think anyone's done their mind section share because there's a journaling section in the group in a picture that is empty. Empty. So it would be...
It's a very personal thing to share.
It is.
If you do it.
You don't need to do the whole journal thing, but it can just be a reflection of once you've done your journaling, you can then reflect on it and go, oh, okay, wow, like I was here and I've managed to get from that belief and understanding, which, Cherry, you're so doing this. I could get involved in that and make that my problem, or I can step away from that and separate myself because I understand that's not serving me to be in that energy all the time.
Yeah.
Like those are the sort of shares I made in the journaling section of like, do your deep work, do the journaling section. Please do the journaling section. Even if you just do a sentence.
Where's that again?
So in your PDF, at the bottom of it, there will be some journaling questions. And even in the video, I prompt you about that. And then if you go into the group and type in the word, hang up, into the group, go to this side, it'll search this group section. J-O.
Oh, in there, yeah, okay.
Oh, boom. And the journaling post is right there.
Okay,
Same,
all right.
The nice empty one.
Same with the the social shares. So social. Where are you? What are you doing for fun? What's happening around you? Now, I need to put in the social share. Anyone who's in Brisbane, we now have a PH360 meetup group once a month. So anyone who's in Brizzy, it's a free meetup. This Saturday is our very first one, and it's happening at Carina.
Cooperoo.
Carina, Cooperoo, just nearby on the border, I think.
Oh, okay.
So we'll have Brisbane ones happening all the time. I think they're happening in the major cities. So unfortunately, I'm sorry, all the people that are in the extra spots, it's not maybe going to work for you. But for the others in the community, there is a Melbourne one. There is a Sydney one. There is all your major cities anyway. So if you're any of everybody watching the replay, there are some really great groups happening where you get to go and just have the conversations and meet some of the professionals, see the different spectrum of people who are coaches, see the different spectrum of people who are experiencing what this does for general people and how people are utilizing this for themselves. And the other one was, which I don't mind, but at the same time I was like, there is actually a food porn post for everyone to put their food porn in the comments of it. But
we just put it here, there, and everywhere. It
does go here, there. Yeah. I'm totally loving it. I totally don't mind, but I was like, I've got to figure out how to make that more precise. But it's great. It's been such an awesome learning curve with everything. So is there anything else you feel like you need to say in that space, Cherry?
Pardon? What was that?
Is there anything else you feel like you need to share in that space about what we've been speaking about? Anything else that's come up for you?
Only what I put up the other day about the when I went to my GP about my blood pressure.
Yes.
And because she said to me, she put the cuff on and she said, "Have you lost weight?" And I went, "Yeah." And she goes, "Oh my goodness." She said, "I can see it in your face and I can tell it in your arms." And, and I was getting, like, I had to go to the chemist and a Woolies and everything. And I know everyone in the local area. And I was getting compliments all morning. in my head, when I go home, you think that I wouldn't be able to get through the front door. You know?
Good on you. You've earned that so much. You have had the most full-on journey in this space. Full on. Like, you have been so sick at times, and yet you've reached out to me. You've not quit. You've communicated. You've not sat there in this uncomfortableness. You've been like, Shana, I have a question. I need to speak to you. And you've come to me. And I really appreciate that, because it means you're allowing me to support you through the tough times.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, people need to hear this. I'm like, share that in the group. Share that in the group so everyone else can see the struggle and see what you're pushing through. It's so inspiring. You are doing amazingly.
Yeah, because I think it was, what day was it? Over the weekend or something, I had an allergic reaction to something, and I was really, really itchy. I'm going, okay, so I sort of went through everything I'd eaten, and wasn't anything out of different, and, you know, and I asked my GP, and she couldn't find anything. And then by the next day it was gone. So
could have been a chemical you came into. It could have been someone's perfume that you came across.
Yeah,
all kinds of random things when there's a rash.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, I couldn't see it. It was just itchy. You know. Yeah.
Could be stimulation. Where were you itchy?
On my arms, like there. Around my face. The back of my shoulders. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And you hadn't been doing any excessive. By the way, have you been doing your searching at pool swimming?
No.
Get to it.
Yeah, I'll get to it.
You've got 2 weeks to get to it.
I've been, you know, and that's what I thought to myself, like the whole mindset, like I have been focusing on the family stuff and not putting, I've been putting the effort into me, but not putting in the effort of doing my yard and all the priorities that I put aside. So I've made a determination on Monday that I was going to start doing that. And it's I sort of feel bad that I've sort of told my niece this and just walked away, you know.
The universe is amazing and everything's always perfect. It may not feel it at the time, but I guarantee you it's always perfect. It will be what it will be, and it's now done.
Yeah.
So all I would love you to do is to move more through it. Do more things and busy yourself, because it's actually, as much as, you said it, it's actually not your problem.
No, but, you know, like her, I shouldn't say this, but I hate controlling men, right? And Kathleen's in a relationship with a man that's older. I'm not having a go or anything, but she told me that if she told him everything that I was saying, he'd stop her from talking to me because that I was trying to stir shit.
In what? Well, I don't need to go. I don't need to know the details. You get to understand whether or not that's true.
Well, it wasn't that. Yeah.
And then you get to decide whether that's true for you or not. And I guess maybe it's meaning, if this is coming up a few different ways and a few different times, maybe it's meaning you need to go within yourself and reflect, rather than speaking of others. Only come from a space of speaking your truth about you, where you're at and what you're doing, and leave other people's business and opinions to themselves. Yeah, that would probably be where I'm feeling the energy is going with that, is just focus on you and how you show up and what you have to contribute and talk about.
Yeah.
Rather than other people's business, because it doesn't matter.
No.
So
apart from that else, I'm doing okay. Well, you know, like as far as body-wise, I feel great.
Yes.
That's awesome.
That is so brilliant.
And I know that I've lost more weight, and I did cheat. I stood on the scales. I've got that for myself.
I think we're all doing that.
I know everyone does. But
When you put those shorts on and go, oh, I've got even more room. Let's just jump on the scales and see.
Yeah.
I love this. I can't.
I went, oh, I've lost so much. And then I think it was last week when I was having, that plateau thing you said.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'd lost like 2 grams. So I went, oh, bummer. And then 2 days later, I stood on it and went, holy hell! Like,
you push through. So that, I guess that leads in perfectly into the next little bit that I wanted to tap on before we finish up was consistency and discipline. If you just stay consistent in honoring yourself and you remain consistent with your discipline of what you're here to achieve, reflect back to that first task we did, the reset your mindset. What were the words you wrote down and the feelings you were writing down and talking about and speaking about to yourself about if you fail, if you're at the end of this 6 week and you're like, oh, I didn't really do all the things, I could have done better. How's that going to feel? That's going to feel freaking horrible. I didn't really get on all the things. I didn't really watch all the stuff. I didn't really participate. I didn't really commit to this.
That's the exercise too.
Yeah.
I'm going to work on that,
Yeah, that's exactly right. So it's the consistency to the discipline of what you committed to. I want you all to be in the positive of like, 6 weeks is done. I honored myself. There were some bad bits there, but I totally did this. I nailed it. 6 weeks, Shana, shake my hand. We have freaking rocked this out. 6 weeks self-evolution. I feel like I have evolved.
Yeah.
You can maintain the consistency and discipline. This will be your 10x of your success in whatever you're here to achieve, in whatever you're really wanting. The consistency and the discipline is the key to you getting to the end of the 6th week and being like, thumbs up, we nailed it. Now I see the path in the future.
Like when I was still on GP the other day and I was trying to explain, she wanted to see the program, so I showed her on my phone and then she wanted to see you. And then I showed your profile and the DNA, and she took all notes on it. But we ran out of time and she said, I'd like to know more. And she goes, are you going to stick to this after the 6 weeks of Spain? And I went, yeah. I said, I haven't done this for nothing. And I said, the people have gone in it not just for weight loss, they've gone in for mindset, they've gone in for other reasons. And okay, I'm having dramatic weight loss, but the mindset is there.
It's the key element.
Is the key thing. Hopefully that one day I'll be able to come off that medication, which I hate being on. Yeah, fingers crossed. So, and I can help other people, because my daughter said to me, when I told her that I'd lost more weight, or because I told her, and she said, I'll pay you to cook for me. And I went, Amber, you got a completely different health type to me. It's like she's tiny and petite and, and
that's not her owning. That's not her owning her journey. That's not her taking self-responsibility.
No.
And that's what this is all about. This is, the knowledge is king, knowledge is power, and then comes the self-responsibility, then comes the discipline, and then comes the empowerment of then not reverting to where you were before, because we know that doesn't serve you. We know that doesn't feel good. So it's the discipline in moving forward. And, you will have times where you're like, well, that was a crap day and totally ate the chocolate. And you go, wow, like, I can hate myself for that, but that's just going to snowball me into the mind of the bad effects and the bad thoughts, the bad emotions. The next minute we're on to Tim Tams, next minute we're on to red wine, next minute we're on to the blah, 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 and it just goes out of control. So it's coming back to the space of going, well, that was stupid, but it tasted good, and I felt fine. But I also understand that's not honouring me. And I also know that there's a snowball on the other side of this tipping point. So I can just honour the fact that I had one thing wrong, and I'm going to have broth for dinner. I'm going to have veggies for dinner. I'm going to make sure my dinner is really, really good.
Yeah.
I'm going to go take the dog for a walk. Or
put myself in that mindset, because it's the girl's birthday on Friday. So hubby's making them a cake tomorrow, which of course is going to be ridiculously unhealthy.
Yes, of course.
And the girls are going, oh, Mum won't have that. She can't have that. I said, I will have a little tiny slice with you to celebrate your birthday. and then I'll go back to eating my healthy stuff.
Yeah. Don't ever try and go without. I mean, sometimes with guardians, we know that some guardians will be like, and diplomats, the whole cake. I'll go back for seconds. Like,
Oh, no, see, I'm not a massive cake fan. I'm a savoury person, not a sweet person.
And you're lucky with that, definitely.
Yeah.
So it's
like on Monday, after I went to the doctor's, I walked into the chemist, gave him my scripts, and then I walked past the fish and chip shop. I'm going, oh, I love bacon and egg burger. And I went, and I'm standing there, and the lady knows me, and she goes, Cherry, what do you want? And I went, and I just kept on. They sell fresh seafood.
Yep.
And I kept on looking at the salad. She said, oh, do you want some of that? And I said, no, I'm not allowed that. You know, and then I explained the whole thing to her.
Oh.
And so I ended up getting a large garden salad. This had everything in it, like the, not the normal lettuce. What's the other stuff called?
Coral?
With all the purple and different coloured.
Oh, mescaline leaves or something like that.
Yeah. And it had, anyway, and then I said, oh, I'll have a piece of cod. And then she said, oh, well, and I said, I want it grilled. And then she said, oh, put flour on it. No flour.
No, just grill it.
Just grill it. You know?
That is awesome.
Yeah. And I got home and there was that. She packed up that little container so much. I had 3 meals out of that salad.
I'm so proud of you. That is just epic.
Yeah. That's probably why I had a big head swell that day.
And you should, because you had so
huge.
much self-control.
Because how easy would have that been to go, I'll piece of battered fish and some chips?
Yeah, that's what I felt like too. But, you know, I thought, nope, you know, I haven't done all this for nothing.
I love and adore how much you are dedicated to this. It's so great to witness.
Yeah. What I've been doing is when we've been having dinner at night, I've been cooking extra veggies. So last night we had roast veggies. Mm-hmm. So I just diced up, 20-cent piece size and cooked 2 plates of veggies. And then today for lunch, I just threw in a handful of spinach and had spinach and cold veggies for lunch. And it was awesome.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing for dinner.
Mm. Yeah.
It just worked out perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. And so filling. I feel really, I don't feel bloated after eating it like I would if I had a sandwich. I just feel normal.
And one thing I've noticed that I'm actually starting to feel hungry. Oh. I'm getting my appetite back.
The metabolism's kicking back in again.
Yeah. Because, it's taken, 4 and a bit weeks, but I never used to have an appetite. Now I'm hungry.
All the wins. All the wins.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, you make my heart explode. I love this. Well, ladies, if we are happy with where we're at right now, continue on your amazing journey, honouring yourself, forgiving yourself, loving yourself more, and being as active as possible. I'm excited. I love and cherish you both so much and all of you that are watching the replay. Just looking at your faces. Stand strong. You're here for a reason. Honour that. We all have stuff going on in life. We all have so much that happens day in, day out. But this here is 6 weeks to get you empowered. This is 6 weeks to honour yourself so you can have all the things you want outside of this. But this 6 weeks was you dedicating to yourself. And if you're reflecting on this and you're like, you got 2 weeks to get your shit together. 2 weeks more to honour yourself. Just do the work to honour yourself more now so that it's easier after this, so that this isn't just another thing that sits on the shelf.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Good point.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Bye.
Bye.
Night.